like what is Nutrivore? I would say it's that nutrition knowledge that if we all had it, it would make eating a healthy diet easy. That it would allow us to eat any food, right? Continue to eat the foods we love.
What is Nutrivore?
Nutrivore is simply the goal of getting all of the nutrients our bodies need from the foods we eat. It's a really simple idea, and yet it's not actually integrated into most dietary templates. So typically, if you learn about a diet, you're going to get a list of foods to restrict, right? You're going to get a list of foods to cut out or avoid or measure obsessively. And the thing is it's not what we don't eat that makes our diet healthy or not. It's the foods we actually consume and whether or not those foods actually supply our bodies with all of the essential nutrients that our bodies need. So it'll help here to understand why this very simple, basic philosophy is so fundamental to nutrition. If I just explain what a nutrient is. So nutrients are raw materials. So they are the building blocks of all the things that make us us. Every component of every cell, all of that is made up of nutrients. But it's also the raw materials for the chemical reactions of life. So in order for our bodies to do all of the amazing things our bodies do, we need this huge collection of chemical reactions to make important things. To make hormones that signaled other messages to other parts of our bodies, to make the muscles that our bodies, right, to make those proteins, to make enzymes that help to carry out other important chemical reactions, to make the neurotransmitters that our brains use to signal to itself, right? Like all of those things are made from nutrients. And then the things that drive those chemical reactions are nutrients. The energy that goes into those chemical reactions are nutrients, right? So nutrients are everything that makes us us, and the full like complexity of everything that we do, everything internally that's happening so that we can live our lives. And that's why, because nutrients are used up in those chemical reactions, that's why we need to continually top up our body's stores of nutrients from the foods that we consume. So the Nutrivore is about understanding those 49 essential nutrients, the hundreds, if not thousands of other important nutrients that are technically non-essential, but still make you healthier when you're consuming them. So it's about understanding those nutrients, what types of foods have what types of nutrients, and then like the relative proportions, like how much of those different foods to consume so that I'm meeting my nutritional requirements of all of these nutrients, right? So how do I choose different foods so I'm getting the full range of nutrients that my body needs? And the thing is with 49 essential nutrients, we can't simplify what a healthy diet looks like to one thing. Just cut out this one thing, right? Just measure this one thing. That does in no way ensure that we're getting all 49 essential nutrients. We're biologically complex. It should be no surprise that our nutritional needs are as well. Now, that doesn't mean that eating a Nutrivore diet is complex or hard, because foods give us more than one thing. So we might get 10 essential nutrients from one food, or 15 essential nutrients from another food, or 5 essential nutrients from one food. So it's about understanding like the groups of foods and how they nutritionally relate. So everything in this group are nutritionally interchangeable. And then how many servings of that means that we're getting all of the meeting our nutritional needs of the nutrients that type of food contains. So that sounds complex, right? So it's this really simple idea, but the implementation of it, it's not hard. It's not actually complex, but it requires a knowledge base that most of us don't have. Right? We're not taught the basics of nutritional sciences in school. But can you imagine if we graduated high school with the same amount of nutrition knowledge as we have algebra or grammar? Just how that would change the landscape of public health, because then you would know, oh, these are the types of foods where I'm going to get my vitamin C or my folate or my magnesium or my calcium, or my alpha linolenic acid, right? These are the foods where I'm going to get these nutrients. You would have the knowledge you need to inform those day-to-day choices, to have a balanced, nutrient-focused diet, so a diet that meets our nutritional needs, that doesn't require restriction, right? That actually is a diet in moderation. We've lost the ability to eat a balanced diet in moderation intuitively, thanks to 3-4 generations of diet culture teaching us a bunch of wrong things about what a healthy diet even looks like, right? So if you had that nutritional sciences education, it would be really easy to relearn how to intuit a nutritious diet. But with that knowledge base, in addition to informing day-to-day choices, the most important thing I think that knowledge base can do for us is protect us from diet misinformation online. There is seriously, I don't know, 10, 100 times more wrong things about food and diet and nutrition out on the internet than there are correct things. And so if we all just had that like basic nutritional sciences education, be so easy to see that predatory marketing for what it is, that fear-based marketing for what it is. You're trying to make me afraid of this food so that I will buy your supplement line or your continuous glucose monitor or whatever it is. But I know, no, that food is a health promoting food, right? Because I have this, general nutritional sciences education. So Nutrivore is a very simple dietary philosophy, one that is very straightforward to implement once you have that knowledge base. So if anything, I would say, like, what is Nutrivore? I would say it's that nutrition knowledge that if we all had it, it would make eating a healthy diet easy, that it would allow us to eat any food, right? Continue to eat the foods we love while getting every nutrient, while, supporting our long-term health, right? It would make that just really straightforward and really intuitive because we have the knowledge base to inform those choices. But it would also basically put an end to the diet and weight loss industry and how much of that marketing preys upon your lack of knowledge. It requires you to not be able to identify misinformation. And it requires you to think that you failed the diet, not the diet failing you. The diet failed you, that you were set up to fail from the very beginning because you were taught, first of all, a diet that was not focused on nutrients, but just focused on one thing. You were taught that you had to restrict, which you don't. And restriction, in fact, restriction bites us in the butt, because what happens when you restrict foods is the psychology of restriction, right? The psychological impact of cutting out a bunch of foods is it increases food fixation, food obsession, it increases cravings, makes you more susceptible to emotional eating, increases the likelihood of developing eating disorders. And it's actually the key driver of the yo-yo diet. It's the key driver of the on again, off again diet roller coaster. So as soon as you're taught, cut out all of these things, you were set up to fail. When you combine all of these things that you were supposed to cut out, increasing cravings, with the physiological adaptations to dieting, the drop in metabolism so that you're actually conserving energy and not burning as many calories, which if weight loss is a goal for you, that's working against it. And the increase in the hunger hormone ghrelin, making you hungrier between meals and less satisfied after each meal. You combine those physiological adaptations to a caloric deficit with the restrictive mindset leading to increased cravings and food obsession and more susceptibility to emotional eating. Like, yeah, of course you can't stick to the diet. And it had nothing to do with willpower, nothing to do with discipline. It doesn't mean that you're not strong enough. It means that the diet was designed that way because the entire diet and weight loss industry is predicated on the fact that you will fail and that you'll think it was your fault. So Nutrivore is the nutritional sciences education to help us see that industry for what it is, to see those fad diets for the fads that they are, to see those biohacking trends for the not based in science that most of them are thing that they are, right? And be able to identify the cool things that are science-based in that, the few little gems, right, in that collection. And also make eating that healthy diet something that is just how we eat. It's a long-term healthy eating pattern. It's a lifelong healthy habit. It's no longer a diet I have to go on and like white knuckle my way through until I can't do it anymore. It's something that doesn't require discipline or willpower or strength. In fact, by making room for foods that just supply us joy, by intentionally fitting any food into a healthy diet, we're ensuring that we're getting enough joy from our diets that those overall healthier eating patterns are something that we can sustain. So Nutrivore is a very simple idea. Get all the nutrients our bodies need from the foods we eat. But more importantly than that, it's the knowledge base to make that happen, and to make that happen in a way where we're building success over success over success as we're adopting healthy changes and allow us to ditch our diets for good.